Understanding decimals. Now, you must have seen numbers which are less than 1, right? So let's say if I tell you 1 upon 2, this basically is what we call this as half, which basically represents that if there is one object which is divided into two equal parts, we are talking about this one part. This is what is known as fractions. But we can also write this 1 upon 2 in another form, which is known as the decimal form. Now, before getting into this, let's first understand what a decimal is. And for that, I'll need to discuss with you the concept of place value. Now, if I give you any number, let's say for example, I'll give you 3 of them, 3, 7, 9, 3, 9, 7, and 9, 3, 7. Now, we all know that the last place or the last digit which is there is known as the units place. The digit which comes next towards the left of the last digit is the tens place. And the third one, which is this, is known as the hundreds place. Right? Now, please look at one particular digit that I'm talking about, which is 9 in all these 3 numbers. So what is the value or what is the number which 9 represents in this? 9 is obviously at units place. So the value of 9 is what? It is equal to 9 into 1 or 9. The place value of 9 in the second number is at what place? It is at tens place. And we know how do we calculate the value of it? It is 9 into 10 or 90. Similarly, if I look at the third one, it is at hundreds place. Here the place value of 9 is 9 into 100 or 900. Now, the interesting thing which you will note here is that as I move from the extreme right side, which is the units place, to the left, the value of 9, which is 9, 90 and 900, keeps on increasing by 10 times. So 9 into 10 will give you 90. Similarly, 90 into 10 will give you 900. So the value of 9 basically keeps on increasing 10 times as it moves from the extreme right, which is the units digit, towards the left. Now let me ask you a different thing. If I take the same numbers, okay, and I take these as 937, 693, or maybe let me not take 693, let me take only 793, and let me take 739. So what is the value of 9 that I have now? In this, it is at units. So this is a unit, this is 10, this is 100. Here the value is 9 into 100 or 900. Here the value of 9 is 9 into 10, 90, because it is at tens place. And here it is 9 into 1 equals to 9. Now if I see this one, in this one what did I see? The value was increasing 10 times. In this, the value is actually decreasing 10 times. So if 900 is divided by 10, you will get 90. Similarly, when 90 is divided by 10, you will get 9. So the general rule is that as a particular digit, okay, moves from right, let's say 937, as a digit moves from left to right, its place value keeps on decreasing by 10 times, right? It is as if you are dividing it by 10. While if it moves from left, right, so from units place, if it moves towards the left, then it keeps on increasing by 10 times. Now let me ask you a question. If I take this number 937, okay, what will come after the units place? if the rule is that as you move towards the right, the value keeps on decreasing or become 1/10, then obviously there has to be some value which is to be assigned here, right? So the next number which will come in here, okay? So let's say, for example, I take 739, okay? If instead of 739, this 9 was to move one digit towards the right, what will be the value of 9? It should decrease by 10 times. So I'll divide it by 10, just like I did it here, right? This 9 by 10th, which is the fraction, can also be written as something which is known as the decimal, right? So what I will do is, after I write this 739, because then we are getting into this fraction zone, to represent these decimals, we include a small dot, okay, and this dot is known as the decimal point, right? So instead of writing this fraction as 9 by 10, I write it by form of a decimal number. Now if I tell you, just divide 9 by 10, and that's what my starting point was, where I told you that, this fraction can also be written by means of a decimal point. So if I actually divide 9 by 10, okay, how many times does 10 goes into 9? 9 is smaller than 10, so obviously there is nothing which goes. So we just write a 0 here. After this, to divide this, the steps that are taken is, you add a decimal point here, and this decimal point is replaced by a 0 here, right? Now if I divide 90 by 10, it goes it into 9 times. So this will give you 90. 90 subtract 90 will give you a remainder of 0. So 9 divided by 10 actually can be written as 0.9. So I write this number as, so if the 9 were to move one places to the right, then I will write this as 739.9. This part on the left side is known as the whole number part, and the one to the right is known as the decimal part. So when we go to this, we call this as units place. This is known as tenths place. So it's THS. If after 9 you had, let's say, 5, this is known as 100th place, which basically represents 1 divided by 100. So let's say again, let me just write this 739.95. This was units place. This was tens place. This was hundreds place. Similarly, you have these, okay, just like the value of this was what, 3 into 10. This basically represents 9 divided by 10. So as you keep on moving to the right, the division keeps on increasing. When we talk about 5, we will say 5 divided by 10, okay, and as I told you, as you move to the right, there's another division by 10. 10 into 10, or 5 by 100, and this is known as the hundredths place, and so on, right? I hope you would have understood the concept of decimals. So decimals is nothing but when you write anything around a units place, anything which comes after the units place is represented by a decimal point, and we write the numbers on the right side. Whatever numbers are there, and these could be as many as possible. So it could be 3, 5, 7, 6, 3, just like, you can have as many numbers on this side. Similarly, you can have as many number of this side, right? Thank you for being with us today. We look forward to having you in many more videos on decimal points, where we will explain the other concepts in detail.